the doctor was like, ooh, you've got, like, what you're telling me is true. What's up, hungry homies? We are now 6.5 weeks out. So there was a little bit of a change, but we're back. My boyfriend came home and he said, listen, we're going to the hospital. So I've been living here since 2022 and I still don't have a doctor. So here in New Brunswick, either you have a doctor or you don't. And you wait forever. Saw the doctor at like maybe 8 o'clock at night. He was amazing. He was like, shoot, like you really do need someone to help you. He got me a CT scan that night. So I waited literally like another hour. They got me the results that night. I have small herniation in L3, L4 vertebrae, another larger herniation in L4, L5, and then L5 to S1. So S1 being my sacrum, the start of my sacrum. That's where the pinched nerve root is. So that's the one that is pinching through my glute, causing me the hamstring issues, causing the sciatica. So all the tingles that I'm experiencing down into my calf and into my foot and the weakness in my hamstring is because of that pinched nerve root. So also it's called a foramen, or the hole where in my sacrum where the nerve root passes is very small. So not only is it too small so that it basically, when I move, that nerve rubs up against the sides of that. There's also on top of that an osteophyte, which is essentially a bone spur. There's a lot of things like really squeezing and pinching that nerve, which is creating all of those issues down into my leg. He prescribed some nerve blockers for me, which just reduces like the tingles and the pain of the nerve. So because the nerve is irritated, so I'm better able to do things. Sitting like this, especially on hard surfaces, is like I can only do like 10 minutes at a time. My training feels a little bit more normal now. I still have to make some adjustments to the training so that I'm not doing bent over things like barbell rows or deadlifts or Romanian deadlifts, things like that. Some changes have been made, but I feel like I'm still making some improvements. The right leg is significantly weaker than the other leg because the nerve is just not firing like it could and should. So I have to train it separately from the other leg just so that I can build up some of the strength and like start to like basically like force it to connect to the muscle and to my brain. So the communication from my brain telling my leg to curl isn't clear. Like doing a leg curl together, my left leg will kind of take over that movement and then the right leg will be stuck not firing as well as it could. That's what I'm focusing on with training right now. Putting on my socks in the morning is really frustrating because I can't. So the next sort of like big adjustment that I've made to this season is I've switched coaches. What made me change though was this back issue. I mean, I'm no young athlete anymore. Punishing and pushing my body and like making it submit with a hard diet and cardio is not the move. And I'm just seeing that now, whereas like I have to start taking those types of things a little bit more seriously. So, but just being smart about what you're feeling. The coaches that I chose have a little bit more of like a data-driven approach to prep. You know, they'll do like fasted glucose testing, you know, to kind of see where your blood glucose is and where your insulin sensitivity is. So far, the changes have been good. I feel like a little extra food and a little less stress on my body from cardio has done me well. I feel like I look fuller, like my muscles look like they pop a bit more, and still being 6.5 weeks out, I do have like some body fat to lose. So still a bit of an uphill battle. The choice to change was not an easy one. I find that I tend to be loyal to a coach. Made me feel like I was like cheating on him. This sport is a pretty singular sport, so it's important to do things for yourself. It was more of a matter of like trust the process, and if your gut is telling you to move on and find something that's more aligned with where you want to go and how you want to do things, that's what it's going to be about. But once you make that switch, you're like, okay, like you feel like a sigh of relief, and then you're like, okay, new path, new direction, and it feels a little bit better. So don't take your physicality for granted, and getting body work and regular tune-ups, you know, with a chiropractor or a physiotherapist or something is very important, just to make sure, especially especially as you're like getting into your 30s and 40s and 50s. You think you're invincible in your 20s and that nothing's gonna happen to you, and then you start to feel like all the aches and pains that happen, and that's when it sort of catches up with you. I could have mitigated a lot of my symptoms by taking stretching and all that kind of stuff a little bit more seriously. That's what I've sort of learned. When I have my heart set on something, it's done. Like, I'm gonna get it. Harvested some lettuce and green beans, and look at, I have hot peppers, my little hot pepper. My garden is growing. I've had clients who have injured themselves and we've had to pull back, readjust. My strongest advice for them is to keep, like, that's not an opportunity to give up and just stop doing things. Like, you just have to like shift. You know, when you blow a tire, you don't just like throw away the car, right? You put on the little donut, you drive to your nearest mechanics and you get a new tire. So, and that takes time, and it's just about doing the same thing, just a little bit different in order to come to the same conclusion. So, I mean, injuries happen, hiccups happen, but I mean, you're gonna get there in the end if you just keep pushing for that same address or that same goal. I appreciate you supporting this and following along and keeping tabs on what's going on. So we're gonna continue to like pump this out, finish off this prep. We're gonna hit Arizona. It's gonna be awesome. And then we'll go from there. So thank you so much for following along. Again, please subscribe. Help let me know that you care about seeing these. And again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, email me directly. I am taking clients as well. So if you're interested in pursuing a similar journey or just, you know, wanna feel badass in the gym, I'm your girl. See you in the next one.